Good morning. It's Tuesday, right? Might as well kick this week off with some fun, right? Truly, it's pretty easy to understand this, but some people are struggling to understand some things. So we're just going to do a little quick discussion about some things, set some things straight. War Eagle also did a clip that I want to talk about really quick and just make sure she understands what I'm actually asking or why, because she put a clip together, and it's a clip that I've played numerous times of where certain misinformation about the pants came from. But anywho, let me just get into this and we will talk about it all. And if this stream, let it be known now, if you feel some sort of way about what I'm about to say in this stream and you are not addressed, lace that shoe up and wear that bitch. Please and thank you, because it probably is meant for you. If you fall into these categories of not being able to follow along what is happening or why we're talking about the things we are in the direction that we are, and you need some help understanding, you might be one of those that probably needs to lace that bitch up and wear it. Happy Tuesday morning, bitches. I'm just joking. If you're not interested in a drama or nonsense speaking her whole fucking mind and from my whole chest and saying what the fuck I want to, this might not be for you. Hit that X button, come back on the later stream today. We'll be getting right back into it. But this is let me clear my throat. You know, one of those streams. So a little combo of let me address some things that have been going on and progressing for weeks on end. And it's just kind of hit that bubbling point that I need to address it. I could continue to ignore, but I think it's a perfect opportunity to explain some things to people that might not quite understand or be able to follow along because they're stuck in their bubbles of sitting in discords all day long, talking about those of us that are actually trying to find where the layers of harm are in these cases versus shit talking all the people that you don't like because it's a group think. There's a big difference there. Anyways, hey, Music City Mom, and this isn't to everybody with the Discord. This is to the ones that, and if that shoe fits, lace that bitch up and wear it. Hey, Music City Mom, Amethyst, Chris, Janice in accounting, Chico, Teresa, Dazed and Amazed. By the way, word to the wise, my mods don't know what I'm about to do or about to say, so don't blame them for anything that's coming out of my mouth. I take full responsibility for everything that's going to be coming out of my mouth, and I stand. Today I have 10 toes. Some days I have 9 because one kind of cramps and folds under, but fully 10 toes down in the shit I'm about to say. Hey, Roro, Angel, Claus, Parody Street, Hetty Lamar, Zero, Rhiannon, Duchess, Emily. Okay, good. It's just a few of us because all the shit's popping off this morning, so I figured let's get it addressed. Okay, so first and foremost, let me go over here. This is for War Eagle. And again, please don't send hate to War Eagle at all. I think we're seeing very similar, well, we definitely aren't seeing things the same way on a lot of stuff. as you guys know. But in this particular instance, I'm going to show you guys what they clipped, and I'm going to explain to War Eagle what I'm actually talking about, because I think they missed their point, or missed the point of what I'm talking about. So I said I would explain really quickly so they understand. Here we go. Let's start here. I'm going to take a walk back so you guys can see what's on here. But what the title of this video says, Nonsense has questions, Eagle has answers. Okay. Why I have a huge problem with this. A huge problem with, this is from my yesterday's stream, by the way. This being the first thing, defendant has spread false claims about the discovery of evidence, including unfounded assertions that Sebastian's pants were found without any factual basis. These actions have not only misled the public, but also caused mass hysteria and obstructed the search efforts, constituting violations. Why wouldn't they go after Terry Lynn? Why? And they say that's a whole nother story yet to be told. Why wouldn't they go after Terry Lynn if that's the issue here? Can anybody explain to me? So where's the answer? But let's get back to barbecue. As we all know, we have pulled the clip. I've actually pulled the clip numerous times from TikTok where the panel was hosted over on TikTok, that Jay for Justice, Clue, Barbecue, I think Body even was up there, and Body pushed back. Jay was asking questions about the pants scenario. And it was a conversation between Clue and Barbecue. And they were saying stuff about the pants. We've played that clip numerous times. And I've said exactly, where does this come from? Where's the proof of this? We've talked about that numerous times. So that's what she's about to insert. What they're missing here is what I'm talking about in the exhibits. We were specifically talking about the exhibits, and I'll show you what I mean. Why they wouldn't go after Terry Lynn?
But they said the pants were unrelated, but they were his.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, this is that TikTok panel. Jay restreamed it. If you want to see the full thing, Jay for Justice restreamed this to YouTube, so it is still on YouTube.
Because they weren't worn by him recently. That's probably why. But if they found them and they knew they were Sebastian's, they've got to be thinking, who's throwing Sebastian's pants out in the woods? And then Seth wonders who's following him, right?
Well, about the pants, though, real quick. Like, we don't know that they're Sebastian's.
That's Body's voice.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And you guys have confirmed that individually.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, this has been out here for months, War Eagle. This whole clip situation was months ago. And we have talked about that numerous times, about where the source is of this pants debacle. Again, this isn't the purpose of why I was pushing back on that in specific yesterday. We were talking about the exhibits, but let me walk that through in just a moment.
They were not his size. They were smaller.
Small.
We're talking about that last night, right? Barbecue.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just, I don't have proof of that. Me, Body Moving, does not have proof of that. I want to make it clear. I don't know. They say they have independently verified.
It's really not that hard to figure out. We knew where that came from.
This separately, but
Months ago. You can go back in my streams from months ago. Months and months ago, and see that we played that clip and pushed back on that misinformation about the pants from that panel repeatedly, and had a major problem with the misinformation that was being spread on that panel about said pants. Now, what I was actually talking about, a little bit off. Who is this? A little bit off. Member for 11. Thank you for being a member for 11 months, but I really appreciate that. I'm trying to think of who this is. Who is it? You don't have to tell me publicly. Hey, everybody coming in. Okay, so let me show you what I was actually talking about. Most of you understand what I was talking about. But because I want to make sure War Eagle understands this. So exhibit 26, right? We were looking at the exhibits yesterday. So I'm going to scroll off the screen for a minute because I don't want to, again, put all these addresses out here. Oh no, a little bit. I'm sorry. Yeah, don't be messing with the doxing threats. The cease and desist. So this is again exhibit 26. This is dated September 16th. We were looking at the time frame in the September area of when At Night came in. That was the purpose of that whole discussion. But this is dated September 16th, 2024. This is the cease and desist that was sent to Barbecue. Now let me scroll down to the actual cease and desist. Okay. I mean, it's really not that hard to follow this, but you will see here, this is the actual cease and desist that was sent to Barbecue, supposedly on the 16th of September. Okay. And in this, it is mentioned about the whole pants situation, right? So let me see. But it's also mentioned that there is threats to dog Chapman. And then we have Nick and Brittany saying it wasn't Barbecue or her fans that were inciting anything. So it was really confusing. So here we are. We have a cease and desist, right? That was sent to supposedly Barbecue, who is a defendant on the current injunction in Pennsylvania. This is the cease and desist that led to them drawing up a legal document. Okay, so this cease and desist, I'm just scrolling through it. I'm not going to read it all. Was signed and sent to Barbecue. Okay, 16th. There you go. And War Eagle, you should be able to, I'm sure you have access to these documents. You should. So hopefully you'll catch this on the replay. But then if you continue to scroll through that filing, the cease and desist, right after the cease and desist in the exhibits comes this drawn up filing, court papers, right? In the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, At Night Media. Okay, scrolling past this really fast. They are asking for, and it doesn't have any file number. This has never been filed. People have checked Pacer. People have checked everywhere. This has not ever been filed. So this was originally what they drew up against Barbecue. So they sent a cease and desist, and then they drew up this filing that has never been filed right after. Okay? So it goes on to state plaintiffs At Night Media, LLC, Dwayne the Jog Chapman, Nick the Hat, Hong, Seth, and Tony, collectively plaintiffs, by and through undersigned counsel, respectfully move this honorable court for a temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction against Barbecue. This petition seeks immediate judicial intervention to prevent ongoing unlawful interference with the search for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, age 15, and to halt defendants' continued defamatory and obstructive actions that threaten the integrity, yada, yada, yada. We've read through this 1,000,001 times at this point. So it goes on to talk about plaintiffs are engaged in the urgent and sensitive task. You notice that the plaintiffs in this one are only the men on the filing, but the actual complaint and filing in Pennsylvania that was filed in court has additional plaintiffs and then a new defendant. So in the exhibits, they show this filing that they drew up in September after a cease and desist. It's mentioned in here again that they have jurisdiction. They also mention the cease and desist. They talk about the dissemination of false information. Defendant has spread false claims about the discovery of evidence, including unfounded assertions that Sebastian's pants were found without any factual basis. Okay, so it's right there, right? We're not confused about, they were upset about the pants and the misinformation going around about the pants to Barbecue. But as you see in War Eagle's clip, Granny wasn't part of the conversation about the pants, first and foremost. Okay? And again, I'm going to ask, how does it make any sense that this filing was drawn up but not filed for in the court of law if these are so problematic? But then you go on. So this filing, let me continue on. You can see all of this stuff, request for relief, yada, yada, yada. It's not dated. Let me go here. It is not dated. It's signed, not filed, not dated. And Honorable Bruce Castor is mentioned once again. But not only is that confusing, but you go further on to Exhibit 27, there's more back and forth with some attorney Coleman from TikTok in regards to the barbecue situation. But then you go on to Exhibit 28, right? So Exhibit 28 is a cease and desist that At Night or One World Media is claiming that was sent to Clue on September 17th. Okay, she was a part of the pants discussion. Okay. Well, once again, here's a cease and desist about, and they allege that she's a family member of them, which is ridiculous, but some people are still stuck on stupid. But then here you have again another filing, right? In the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, At Night Media. So they drew up another filing. Let me skip past this so I don't put anybody's addresses out here. And they are asking for an injunction and a restraining order against Cluminati. Hey, Wolfie. They are asking for an injunction and a restraining order against Cluminati. Again, these filings are included in the exhibits alongside the cease and desist. If you have access to these exhibits, they're exhibits 26 through 28. They are drawn up. They go through. Let me skip over this part so I make sure that there's not. Oh yeah, here you go. I mean, they're not filed for in court though. These are just included in the exhibits. So again, I ask, how did we go from their intent was to sue Barbecue and or Cluminati, ask for injunctions and restraining orders? They drew up the filings in September. They sent cease and desist in September. You don't have a cease and desist to Granny because she wasn't present for that pants conversation, but then it changes from they're upset about all of that stuff to claiming in the actual filing that was filed in court right here that plaintiffs, the whole list of 10 of them that when they added on Brittany, Julia, Chasing Crime, all the rest of the fuckery with the plaintiffs, BHB, the likes. They go on, and this is the one that's actually filed in court to say plaintiffs are engaged in the urgent, sensitive task of locating Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, a 15-year-old missing child, last seen on February 25th, 2024 in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Despite extensive efforts, Sebastian remains missing, necessitating a coordinated, uninterrupted search. The search for Sebastian Rogers has proven far more difficult than a typical missing teenager investigation, as a few ill-intentioned individuals have sought to cast Mr. Rogers as a villain. Meanwhile, others have conducted Salem witch trial-like panels aimed at intimidating potential witnesses or discouraging those who may have useful information from coming forward. Some of those individuals uncomfortably close to Mr. Rogers also include his ex-wife, Kate Proudfoot, and her husband, Christopher Proudfoot. Others are so-called content creators whose sole aim seems to be inviting, inciting, instructing, and destroying the lives of anyone who dares to search for answers or help locate the missing teenager. As set forth below, defendants have engaged, which defendants of this filing, as you know, are Granny and Barbecue. Anybody making this make sense? War Eagle, this is what, and you can't even answer this, as we have determined in our adult conversation. You don't have the answers for this either. You said, I don't know. I'm not involved in any of that stuff. This is what I'm asking about. Why did we go from them drawing up filings against Barbecue and Clue to an injunction that was actually filed for against Barbecue and Granny, except if it wasn't just for the sole purpose of Granny being in Pennsylvania and them needing another plaintiff or another defendant in Pennsylvania to claim RICO and racketeering. I mean, there's that, as we all know. That's what was done here, but it's very evident because an attorney is not going to draw up a filing to just sit there. So was the intent to ever file these forms against Clue and Barbecue? Or were they just used because this was the intent all along, was to file frivolous things in courts? That's what people are missing here. And again, this whole thing says, I'm going to go back to here. This is the exhibits. We're back on the exhibit 28. This is the filing that they drew up that was never filed against Clue. So it says that they served her with a cease and desist, which we know she got one from Seth originally, from his attorney way back when. And then here you are. Once again, they don't even talk about the pants, but they say defendant has spread false claims regarding evidence, including unfound assertions about finding Sebastian's belongings, which have caused mass hysteria and obstructed search efforts in violation, yada, yada, yada. So why did we go from, they were so solid on that they drew up filings, to the next thing, they're not here again. This one's not even signed. Check that out. Check that out. War Eagle, I hope you go look at these exhibits. Truly, like, we're seeing what you're saying about that clip again is known. Like, I knew exactly what they were talking about with the pants conversation and where that stemmed from. Again, you can find the whole conversation on Jay for Justice's channel. She restreamed it, and we've been talking about that forever. But how do we go from September 16th and 17th doing this and making these accusations to dropping all of this, not filing these, have an attorney drawing them up, and then magically, oh shit, let's pull in a Pennsylvania? Exactly. Yep, Kim, I think so too. Yep. And I'm not mad at War Eagle at all. Like, I know they talk a lot of shit about a lot of other people, whatever, to each their own. They can clip me all day long. That's not my problem. What the problem here is that they were missing the point of what I'm actually questioning and why I'm pushing back. Because if they had all of this stuff against Clue and Barbecue, why didn't they file it? You tell me that you're going to pay an attorney to draw up these filings and then do nothing with them but put them in exhibits? Does that make sense to you guys? Do you understand what I'm talking? Oh, Wolfie, you're welcome. I hope that's a good thing. Does that make any sense whatsoever to anybody? You guys see what I'm questioning and why, right? What I am trying to get at, and this is where we're going to lead into this conversation. What I am pushing back on, and Jones, and I just got word that you said I'm lost. Honey child, I'm definitely not lost. You might not be keeping up on what is actually the purpose of what we are doing and why. So let me explain to you and the others like you that sit around and talk shit. You might not be talking shit, but other people around you are talking shit. So let me brighten everybody's world into what is actually going on. I've said this very publicly many times before, what we are doing and the intent of what we are doing. But some of you are not understanding it because you're stuck in a different bubble and in different communities, which is totally okay with me. Totally okay with me. Yeah, I guess I'm lost. I just found out today that I'm lost. Unfortunately, I'm definitely not lost. I'm confused on why the purpose of all of this fuckery, and I'm really scared for victims and their families that people like this can't understand the harm that At Night is doing. So let me break it back. So what the purpose of what I am doing is because we are trying to find a baseline of what is happening and how it's happening. Am and I have talked very publicly about a playbook of sorts that is used by content creators to latch on to these families and exploit the families. We have gone back and I've started an optics playlist of showing how you can take the parents away from the story in the beginning and see the fuckery caused by creators with a playbook of sorts. That is the purpose of my optics playlist, because you can take the parents and their desire for awareness out of the situation and see the fuckery that is caused specifically by creators. That's not hard to follow. Unfortunately, I'm not to the part in the timeline of your hated friends are probably coming into play or people you want drug into it. I'm just not there. There's too much to keep up on at this point in time. But we'll get to many people in this optics timeline as we go on. It might take me a year, but we are trying to get a baseline of what is happening. Where is this happening and what needs to be changed? Because you can't go in and ask for solutions if you don't even and can't even identify the major problem. We know laws need to change. We know victims need to be protected, but this is a multi-layer situation. So first and foremost, one thing that we know needs to be done is resources need to be dumped into organizations that provide resources to families, so it stops them coming to social media to ask for help to get the word out about their loved ones. That is pretty simple. That is one thing that is very baseline. But this whole situation and why we are detailing Sebastian's case so in depthly is because it's current, it's active, and it's attention grabby. People are following it, and once they see this, they can't unsee it. So you might think I'm lost, quote unquote, or misguided. You're missing the point of why this is important. And that's okay. We're not in the same groups. We're not in the same arenas. I'm not here to appease any of you. I am here to find out what is causing this complete upside down world where this is okay. What has been created here for decades upon decades? It is a layered effect. It is not just as simple as people think. And in order to ask for solutions, we have to be able to identify the problems. And right now, the problems are extensive, just following Sebastian's case. But his case is just one. His case is an awareness case. The exploitation and re-victimization of victims goes outside of missing children. It goes completely outside of missing children. It happens to tragedies. It happens to SA victims. It happens by the justice system. It happens by DAs. It is so multi-layered. But to ask for change and know what we even need to change, you have to be able to identify what the problem is and somewhere to start. And that is what we are attempting to do, is lay it out so people can actually see, because we might not know exactly where to start yet. We're starting places, trust and believe, but we might not be able to identify all the different pieces that go into this. That is why it's so important to document the different players and the different overlaps and the different things that are happening. The re-victimization of victims is also happening in many other sectors with many other tragedies. This is a big industry of profiting off of pain. Sebastian's case is attention grabbing because of the harm and the real life bullshit that is being done to this family. No matter where you align with what parent or what you think, there is real life identifiable harm being done to parents and overall the dignity of a minor missing child. It's not that hard to follow along. It's not that hard to keep up on what we stand for and why. We have amazing people that I surround myself with that are fighting for different pieces of this whole process. Duchess is trying to help bring awareness for missing. Am is trying to help bring awareness for victims and what the judicial system can do and different things of that nature. Chico was talking about other, like all of this. There is so many layers and they all go hand in hand. But you ever question my integrity, my purpose, or say I am lost? No, it's just you probably aren't keeping up on what's really going on. And that's okay. I'm not here to justify that, and I'm not mad. Truthfully, I'm a little frustrated that people, instead of being a part of the trying to find solutions or figuring out where the problems lie, that people instead sit around and talk shit in discords about me and their perceived thoughts on me, which, okay, I mean, that's elementary school shit. We've been here before. I'm not concerned about it. And it's not just one Discord. It's many Discords that sit around and talk shit, because I am a pompous asshole. Absolutely. I don't mince my words when it comes to victims and their families and what is the harm that is being done. I'm going to get into another segment here and speak some more, because there's more to this than just that part of it. But I'm not like that. I sit around and talk to Am, Duchess, Chico, any of them. Our conversations revolve around what is missing here? What are we missing? What are the pieces that are missing that we are not identifying? Because when you have a company like At Night Media coming in and claiming that they are helping a parent of a missing child, the danger of that is extensive. And if you can't see that, if you can't identify that because of your dislike of a creator that they might be going after, and you're justifying what they are doing to creators because of your dislike of that creator, that's a you problem, not a me problem. If you can't identify that they are using creators to further the harm that is being done to the parents of a missing child, please take a step back and realize your hate of other creators or dislike of other creators is overriding the facts. If we can't stop organizations from exploiting a parent such as Seth Rogers, how are we going to even make change? And they are using this whole perceived bullshit of Granny and barbecue impeding the investigation of Sebastian as an excuse to further the harm of Katie and Chris. And even Seth. They're truly exploiting Seth too. This is so many layers to this. So many layers. It's unreal. When we talk about this, there are so many different avenues that this goes down. And yeah, I will say it again. What is being done to Granny is fucking as real life as it gets. As real life. If you need to, take a step back. If you are not a Granny fan, okay, take a step back and put in there the name of one of your other creators that covered this and said very similar things. And then pull away and say, wait, how does that help the search for Sebastian? How does this lawsuit? It doesn't. It doesn't. It is, Ethan. It is extremely dangerous and extremely scary that this is where we are, that they are using this lawsuit to go after and target parents of a missing child and smearing the dignity of the minor missing child. There is nothing acceptable about this. Alma, thank you so much for the gifted memberships. Holy shit, you guys, I'm not even paying attention. I'm over here on my soapbox. Whitebird, thank you for the gifted membership. Alma, thank you for the gifted membership. Avamos, thank you for the gifted memberships. And Elma, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate all of you guys. This is such a bigger issue than I even had an inkling to when we first started talking about this. No clue. I was extremely tunnel vision on the Marvon story. I covered a few creators and it was very tunnel visioned. I got caught up in the GoFundMe of all the money that they were profiting off of. That's one piece of it. One little tiny piece of what happens. But then you go further and you go further and you start pulling the shit back and you start realizing the exploitation and the profiting off of people's pain is so extensive. We have people like Nancy Grace out here with huge audiences that could be doing something amazing for awareness purposes. Instead, she uses her platform to spread misinformation and harms actual victims, puts actual victims' lives in danger by negligent bullshit. Let's say for 1 second that photo was real. It's not, but let's say it was. Let's say it was real. And then Nancy Grace brings on some fucking nobody idiot to say, here it is, this is what we found. What if law enforcement was using that and you just outed something that would send the person, let's say a child was being held by somebody and you released a photo. Are you putting that child in further danger by releasing some of that shit? Yeah, she's been sued so many times. It's unbelievable. I've got a whole thing coming on that. Oh, my, thank you so much. Yeah, Ethan, it's so maddening. And again, talk all the shit. Please do. I don't like a lot of the people a lot of you sit with. But this whole perceived that I sit here or I don't call this person out, that's where the dislike of what I'm saying comes from. It's not that I'm lost or anything like that. It's the fact that they want me to call out people. Here's the thing. If you want to be a part of the solution and help, then start your channel, fire your channel up, start pushing back on the misinformation and doing things like I do. I have a full-time fucking life. that goes life in. I've always covered what I've covered. If you find that there is somebody that is not included in this spreading misinformation that I have not gotten to, instead of demanding that I do something on your behalf because you're incapable of doing it, do it yourself. Fire up your channel. It is not hard to do what I do. Walk it through, show and push back on the misinformation, because I'm telling you right now, there's many of us that would love to have people who are actually factual and can understand the bigger picture here that pushes back. Instead of spending your time talking shit about those of us who are trying to figure out the baseline of where change needs to happen, maybe lace those shoes up and help us figure out where we can even start. Maybe be a part of the conversation and the solution-based things instead of being caught up in the bullshit. A lot of you guys I've never sat with to begin with, so it doesn't bother me that you talk shit about me right now. But the one thing you'll never be able to say is that I'm lost or I don't know what I'm doing, because I very much so am calculated about what I'm doing. I'm keeping things very separate, and there is a mission to our madness. And I've had these conversations with people that are close to me and are trusted, and they know exactly why we are doing what we are doing. And that is why they are here. And we are using it as tools to pull apart and figure out holes in areas of change. Where can we change? What can we do? But it is very important to me right now, currently, to make sure that there is enough information out here about this At Night Corporation and what they are doing to the parent of a missing child, Seth Rogers, because they are exploiting him. He's allowing it, but it's still happening. They are still exploiting him at a vulnerable time. You're not going to convince me otherwise. And attacking Katie and Chris, his agreement. But both things can be true. If you don't understand the real life scare that has, because if they are seen by anybody as a source of value to parents of a missing child, and they get a hold of the next parent of a missing child, what do you think is going to happen? Have a good day, Jason. What do you think is going to happen? And this isn't just to Jones and all I know, I didn't hear it. I haven't watched. We're not even doing the same thing. But I was told by somebody I trust that she said she was listing people that care about the missing. She listed a few, paused, then said Duchess, and then said me, but I'm lost. I'm definitely not lost. And that's okay if she feels that way. I'm not here to make Jones's feelings happy or anybody else. Insert creator, it doesn't matter. I'm not here to make you okay with what I'm talking about. I'm here to get under your skin and cause you fucking upset. So you sit back and realize the harm that is actually being done to these families. I'm not going to ever deliver this in a palatable way. Ever. Because it's not pretty. What is happening to these victims and their families is not pretty. It is not sensitive for people's feelings. Screenshot this. Absolutely, they do. Absolutely. I used to be one of those people that did talk shit about you, Becky, and I realized the wrong. I sent you an apology via email because I realized you guys, please don't, Venus, you guys don't have to apologize to me. Honestly, I'm going to tell you, people shit talking me doesn't bother me. When you start talking about the purpose of why I have my channel or what I'm doing with my channel or anything like that, or questioning my integrity or this, that, and the other, because you don't like where you perceive I sit or some fucking weird made up bullshit, it doesn't hurt my feelings. It's frustrating because you're not here to be a part of the conversation. You're here to fucking stir shit. Like it's just what it is. Revival, I'm not disappointed. I don't have any expectations of these people. I've never had a conversation there. So she has no idea who I am or anything that I stand for. And let me tell you something else. I'm going to shit talk Discords because you guys know I don't like them. Some Discords aren't bad. It's how people maneuver them. But if you are facilitating a place where it is a group think about other creators, well, you guys sit around and do that. I have maintained keeping my admins and my mods out of a group chat. And the reason for that is because my relationships with each of them individually are important to me. I put time and energy into my relationships with each of these people I consider a friend. I don't have time for discords and or the petty bullshit that arises from it. That is not what we do. I have these conversations. My mods have conversations without me. They all have formed friendships and with who they choose to, but I'm never going to throw a group of women together and expect them to get along. And then me wrangle them. Never going to happen. I'm way too old for that. What up, RJ? You're back. RJ, it's not on subs only. You're free to talk today. Oh, you got green too. You got gifted, RJ. Welcome in. The real life harm that is being done is beyond. You can dislike all of the creators involved. I don't give two fucks about the creator bullshit. The creator to creator. A lot of you guys are carbon copies of each other. Truly, it is what it is. A lot of you are carbon copies of the people you dislike. It's just what it is. And that's okay. What I care about is the fact that we have media groups that are forming, claiming that they are coming in to help protect victims and their families, using a frivolous filing and throwing people into it. I just showed you exhibits. Look at the exhibits. Go read this stuff for yourself, people. Go look at it and you'll see the harm that's being done. We can be friends if you want to, RJ. Well, probably not. I mean, that's a lie. We can be acquaintances in chats. I'm good with that. Fist bump. There you go. I have friends that overlap in all sorts of different places. Truly. I really do. And I don't even know where some of my mods hang out. I really don't. I don't question them. These are grown ass women. I'm not their mama. There's none of that shit. Like, that's weird to me. I don't care. It shouldn't be tense, Wolfie, because this is an adult conversation. If somebody's offended by what I'm saying, it's on them. I truly, it's on them. This is a conversation that's needed and has been needed because people are so caught up in their dislike of creators or following their favorite creators that they're unwilling to pull back the layers and see what is actually happening, the harm that is really happening here. And it's okay that you don't like how I'm covering it. It's absolutely okay for you not to like that I'm going after BJ. She's a problem. She's a fucking major problem. There is never going to be a day that on this app in my lifetime that I say her behavior is not problematic. She is one of many, but she herself was used and allowed herself to be used because of her personal vendetta by a company that is doing harm to parents. They are harming Seth, who she defends. They are harming Katie and Chris, who she is against. She is a part of the problem. She will always be a part of the problem and a baseline problem because she was overzealous and willing to overlook the real damage being done to this family because of a personal vendetta against Granny. If that is too complex of a realization for you, please keep doing whatever drama you're doing. And that's it. RJ, you know what? But RJ, let me ask you this. RJ, can you see the harm that At Night Media is doing? Can you see that? You can't stand Granny, but can you see the harm and why they used Granny in this? Can you follow that? Yeah, a lot of it should be, but crazy. It's such a complex because it's not entertainment when you're messing with somebody's real life. Yes. Okay, RJ, thank you. Thank you. At least you can recognize that some people are unwilling to. Some people are unwilling. And the problem is we are on the cusp of another family having this done. We are on the cusp of another family having this happen to them. And we are only at There are so many different pieces that Am and I in particular talk about because of the justice system and how it re-victimizes victims. We want to show you guys. In fact, we've been talking about it for months and we just need to do it, showing you the parole hearing when they released her monster. Because that's eye-opening and how the victims get re-victimized over and over again. Like, there's so many layers to the re-victimization and the exploitation of victims. It is so deep. There's so many layers, and it's not as simple as people think. When we're asking for change, we have to be able to identify the problem areas that are most concerning and target those. Well, right now, it's so broad. We have to narrow it down and find a path forward. And that is what we are trying to do by documenting and highlighting. And unfortunately, it is Sebastian's case that I'm really heavily following, but there's a motive behind why this is happening this way. Brooke, again, I'm not willing to call it across the board. Again, I encourage you, instead of worrying about what I call out and who I call out, if you have a problem with somebody that's not included and you see that they are spreading misinformation, please do me a favor and everybody else and fire up your channel, do some videos and correct the misinformation that they are putting out. You can be a part of the solution instead of a part of the problem and expecting me to take time out of things that I'm very heavily invested in, such as showing the harm that's being done to the parents of Sebastian right now and Sebastian's dignity overall by backtracking to appease your likings. Please be a part of the solution and use your channel to do something good by correcting misinformation. There's no reason why you should think that I need to call out people that you are spreading misinformation. You should be able to do that yourself. This whole weird environment on YouTube that if you are perceived to sit here or avoid those things, you guys are watching these channels, right? So I watch the channels I watch, and it's extremely hard to keep up right now with the amount of new characters. There is an extreme, overwhelming fucking bullshit of new creators, channels. I can't even keep up. There's no way. So expecting me to spend my day watching things because you just do us a favor and correct it. It is, Elise, it's such a waste. Such a waste. Angel, it is. Yep. And I'm never, again, here's another thing that I will encourage people to understand too. I'm not going to apologize for being monetized. I'm not. I put a lot of time and effort into this, and I'm never going to be apologizing for that. I give back where I can. I do things that I feel are needed for my community, people within my community with those things. And I appreciate every bit of it. I'm not going to apologize, period. That's never going to happen. Oh no, Brooke, you're fine. But do you understand? Pull back for a minute. I completely get what you're saying. This has been a constant. Pull back for a minute and realize the depth of how many I've covered over 100 creators. So because certain creators that you might find problematic are not on that list yet, especially in the optics playlist, because we're only to the 16th. Yeah, we're to the 16th of March. 99% of those creators haven't even entered the scene in that playlist. So I have multiple things going on right now. I have the optics playlist where we're going date by date to pull back the layers of how creators invested themselves and involved themselves in this story and became part of the problem. So we're only to the 16th. So a lot of the people you have problems with aren't in there. The other thing, I'm not interested in the petty back and forth of creator to creator. A lot of these people were friends at one time. A lot of your favorite creators that you follow were friends at one time, and then they had a falling out. And a lot of the harm and back and forth is because of that, not baseline because of the misinformation. Now, I will say, one thing, YouTube streets, whoever watched that video, if you know those people, Queen, if you hear this, or Kodo, could you tell her if she has an into them? I would highly encourage them to change their thumbnail. I think it's disgusting that they use an AI image of Sebastian instead of a real photo of a missing child. Sebastian is still missing. He could be out there somewhere, and it's important for people to see his actual face, not an AI photo of Sebastian. I find that to be disrespectful and disgusting when we could be spreading awareness by using, if you're going to use his image, use his actual image. not an AI image of him. That I find that tacky and disrespectful as fuck. And again, but that sets people apart from what their intent is coming in. It's not about awareness. It's about, just like we've talked about in the optics playlist. Yeah, Ethan, that is, they have reduced him to a logo. Yep. 100%. Yep. And I have been, this is another thing. People will always question my motives of why I don't take Sebastian's name. I genuinely should be taking his name in my videos. I've been asked specifically to take his name in my videos, but because I have a no filter about me, I don't want that ever attached to a missing child. My overall, but people continue to push back and say, but we need you to be in the algorithm. We need you to get in there so people will start pulling this back and going and looking at this. I encourage you, please go look at these exhibits. You will see that this company that claims they are helping victims and their families is absolutely using creators, and it's as real life as you can get on these creators. But the reality is they're doing that to further the harm and damage being done to a missing child's family and the missing child. They're not protecting Sebastian's dignity. Think about it. At Night has never once protected the dignity of Sebastian. They are protecting their client, but they're not even doing that, because if they were protecting their client, they wouldn't be engaged in all this shit. And they will grab onto another child. They will grab onto another family that is desperate for answers, and it's going to be a shit show. And that is something that needs to be changed. So whether you like the fact that I support Granny or not, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to support Granny until I'm blue in the face in this situation, because she was used and intentionally brought into this filing for the purpose of the fact with the RICO and racketeering allegations, not because she did any further harm than any of the rest of us running our fucking mouths. She was brought in because they were upping the game. We can't even get a baseline right now on how many layers there are to this. Duchess, Am and I spent, Revival. There, you could insert name here. But here's another thing. And I'm just going to say this. People I genuinely care about and have formed friendships with are being hurt because they are friends with me. And because of some weirdo that has this perceived notion about me because I don't address their creator or something like that. They perceive all these things about me. And my friends are sitting there. Sometimes they know I don't want them defending me, but they're caught in the middle because they're like, you don't even fucking know her. You have no idea who she is. No clue. But they sit and put up with people running their fucking mouths all the day long. And my friends, people I care about, are being hurt just for the simple fact that they're friends with me. Not because of anything I do, but because I don't do what they want me to. And that bothers me. That bothers me that my friends, people that I would never even make choose or ask where they go or who they sit with or what they do, never once are being treated like shit because they're friends with me. And I'm somehow perceived to be this evil fucking person. Chances are, if some of you got to even know what I stand for and who I really am in my real life, you'd probably be blown away. If you saw our chats, you probably would be very underwhelmed with gossip and juicy fucking back and forth, because it's just not like that. We talk about this from sun up to sundown, so many days of where are we starting. We've talked about, and Am's been doing research into 501c4s. Duchess has been doing research into 501c3s. I've been doing and combining a whole fucking list of email addresses for legislation and attorney generals in every state. So when we roll out a form letter where we can start mass emailing people, it's easy, accessible. We are actually doing things in the background to start making change. We are walking this over and over again. There's a purpose for this, because we're trying to identify the different areas and the different levels to the exploitation, the profiting off of pain. This happens. You can insert Sebastian's case, Delphi case. I wish somebody just like me, I wish I could clone myself and they could go cover the Delphi case with the harm that has been done to these families and the creators that have caused it. John O'Keefe, another one. Same thing. I wish that somebody could pull it back and show these things. People need to see that this is wash, rinse, repeat, and profiting off of pain is becoming a multi-million-dollar industry a year. Between the Nancy Grace, the Vinnie Politan, the Court TV, all of those are doing the exact same thing. Yeah, Ethan, isn't that scary? You're bringing up some great points. There's just so many layers to this, and it takes a village. I am not going to be the sole purpose. None of us are. Like, it takes a team of people to have these conversations, to continue to start questioning. I question myself every day. But right now, I'm going to push this filing in your faces over and over again, the exhibits in your faces, so you can see that we have an organization that is gaining credibility in media because of people like Nancy Grace and the actual harm that they are doing by using creators, Granny, and going as real fucking life on Granny and barbecue that you could ever imagine. And the harm that could, if this is seen as credible, if these filings are seen as credible by this company, when you see all the exhibits and the actual complaints, think of the harm and the encouragement that's going to happen to the next family. They're going to encourage the next family to get aligned with this company, and think of the damage that's going to be done. There's so many of you in here that are just, oh, some of this shit is so crazy to me. We do talk about many cows too. If you guys have questions, ask. And please let him continue to talk all the shit. Like, I don't care. And I'm not saying Johnson was talking shit. She's saying I'm lost. She might, and that's okay for her to perceive that I'm lost. Let me say that again. I'm not here to appease Johnson. I have no relationship there. I've never had a relationship there. I'm not even remotely interested in trying to please them or their need or desire. They hang out with a guy that I fucking can't stand. I mean, we're just not in the same arenas at all. So her perceiving that I'm lost, it's because she doesn't even know what the baseline of what we're trying to do here. And that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, I mean, it's fucking fine to me. It's funny. Oh my gosh. I found one of the families that buys the mini cows has a huge TikTok following. And some of the cows that I have videos and photos of actually are theirs now. Like, that's where a couple of the babies went. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Ethan, it's crazy. Angel, probably, which part are you lost on? In this conversation, you might want to rewind. Is there anything? Yeah. I mean, I walk around lost every day. That's self-admittedly, but that's not because I don't know what I'm doing here. It's because I live in a haze. It's how I get through life, okay? It's okay. I've been watching this series, and you bring up the date that Seth did not start the Facebook group. First and foremost, he was a part of it, and it was promoted as the group that was aligned with him because his sister and other people that are close to him were in that group. So it's not necessarily his group, but how many people now? I'm gonna question it this way because I don't know the significance of it. I just find it to be very interesting that 2 days after Sebastian goes missing on the 26th, the group was actually made on the 27th. So a day later, not even 24 hours later, and it was made as a private Facebook group, not as a public Facebook group. If you are trying to seek awareness for a missing child, wouldn't you want that publicly known? and all the information to get out there because you're seeking answers for a missing child, why would you make a private Facebook group the day after your Sebastian goes missing with locals such as Bullshit and Bobby, Karen, his sister, things of that nature? It's sus to me, and not on the aspect of I think Seth had any nefarious intent with that. I don't know how that came about. I don't know who was the spearhead for creating that, but it was not for awareness. Yeah, that's stale crackers. That's interesting. Somebody brought that up in my comments. I did see that. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to some of the other streams that she did because a lot of her stories have changed. I actually thought about calling Kyle's buddy. Kyle's buddy's in the army. He's actually in med school right now. He's been in for, I think his wife is like going on her 20th year and he's on like 18 or something. They're lifers. And just asking him to listen to some of that and give me a breakdown because it's a little, I'm surrounded by Navy vets and Navy men and women, not Army information. So I'm not sure on some of the verbiage of things, but some of it stands out very weird to me, just like that. I don't know. Yeah, and a GoFundMe on day 3 after it was discussed that it wouldn't. Yeah, and then he goes on later on, Kodo, to admit that he does have social media. He has a Facebook group or a Facebook page, but he didn't consider it social media or something to that effect because it was just for private family and friends, basically. And it's going to get worse. It's getting worse and worse. But I remind you guys, I played that clip of, what's her name? Oh, shit. Now I'm the lady from the prison community. Why is it slipping my head? Jessica, right? Is that her name? Why is it slipping my brain right now? See, but her management has encouraged her to go into the true crime arena just for the simple facts that there's money to be made in it. Like this is where huge social media presence, the managers, the people that work with these people on a financial aspect are encouraging them to start talking about Jessica Kent, thank you, true crime cases for the purpose of financial gain. Thank you, Ethan. Yeah, I encourage everybody, if you have time and see misinformation, do a short, correct it. Stop expecting people like me. I am one person and I can't say that enough. I don't watch a lot of the shit you guys do. I really don't. I keep up with what I can. And that is a struggle for me. I am so behind right now. It's unreal because I'm so interested in the filing because I want this information in your face so nobody can sit there and say, we didn't realize what At Night was doing to this family. So the next family that it's done to, there's no excuses. No, she's from the prison community. Jessica Kent is. Annie Elise is a whole problem in herself. Annie Elise pushes salacious misinformation too, and she's got over 1 million subs. Angel, I'm not sure on that aspect. What Duchess, have you seen that happen besides the Summerwell community with the spokesperson? Have you seen that? Anybody else in here seen that a lot with parents of a missing child? Is it typical for them to have a spokesperson? I know sometimes they have like a family member or a family friend speak on their behalf. Am, I don't know if you're in here still. Am's at work all the time. Oh, and by the way, if anybody thinking that Am and I had a falling out, it couldn't be further from the truth. Am just has a very real life and can't sit here all day with us anymore. So keep wishing, but no, she's family to me. So if me and Am were to ever fight, Kenzie would probably make me sleep outside with the cats because Kenzie absolutely and my other girls love her. So there's that. You're welcome. Let me see. Oh, that Ellen. I miss doing those. I love the cult stuff. I absolutely, and there's so much. That's another thing. Like there's just so many avenues you can take this. There is cult-like followings involved in all of this. The harm, the religious, the extremism, the political leanings, the extremists with all of it. It's crazy. Revival, that's been amazing. Am just asked me today if I was okay with her clipping some of my longer streams because they are long. There's just so much information, and to get people to properly understand, you can't really cut corners. I can show you clips, but you're going to lose context of the actual problems here, the actual harm that's being done. So although they are longer streams, they are worth the information that is in them. And anybody that wants to clip them, please do. If you find something of value in there and you want to, please clip it out. I have no problem with that. I don't even have a problem with War Eagle clipping me at all. Like, she was missing the point of why it's a problem. And I hope she goes back and looks at the dates of these and says, why did they draw up all these filings and then take them down or never file them? And then it got switched from Clue to Granny because the sole need for being able to claim RICO. Yes, thank you to everybody in here who has served. Terry, good morning. How'd your pool tournament go the other day? By the way, if you want to know how crazy life gets over here at times, thank God for my mods, my amazing mods at times that will have, like, they all have their own independent friendships amongst themselves. Like, they're all grown adults and can navigate their own relationships with each other, you know, whoever they want to be friends with. You know, I don't need to micromanage people's relationships. But sometimes my mods will be like, hey, don't forget it's this mod's birthday, or this mod did this. I'm like, oh my God, you guys keep me together. It's amazing because my brain sometimes is gone and I miss important shit. You came in third? That's amazing. Terry, sometime I'll have to text you about that. The lady that taught me how to bartend was a professional pool player. She was amazing. Morgan. Yes, I think they can. Music City Mom, I think they can. Pointer Lover, thank you for that. Yeah, somebody else said it too. I'm struggling. Sometimes I'm like a whippersnapper with names, and sometimes I'm like, who is that person I'm talking about? It's not somebody I talk about. That's awesome, Terry. That's amazing. Does anybody else have any questions? Please ask me now. I have nothing to hide, and I'm not going to apologize for anything. I'm not going to change anything. If you don't understand what we are doing, continue to watch, and maybe you'll catch up, or don't. There are so many communities. If you're not interested in watching those of us that want change or see the need for change, try to figure out where we can make change and what avenues to go about this, please feel free to distance yourself and go to other communities. Chances are I probably won't even notice. These people over here want change, and we're trying to find a baseline of where we can even make the most impactful change on many different layers, because it's not just missing children. It's not just XYZ. It is so many layers of re-victimization, and it feels like an impossible feat. We feel helpless most of the time because it's happening every single day. Something is happening to families of tragedies, families of missing. Oh, Music City Mom, from what I have, because I have the original start date and stuff, I don't know if it was ever public. I need to go back and see my screenshots, honestly, if I can determine. I still find it to be, if it's about awareness, just right there on the surface value, depending on what the group is about. There's a lot of Facebook groups for drama and things like that that are going to be closed Facebook groups. No problem. And there's some discussion groups that are private too, because they're trying to control the misinformation and things like that, if they're like family ran and things of that nature. But if your child is actively still missing, I think it's more important for the awareness purposes. Maybe they have a page that represents it in another way too. That's going to be a situational. It's not going to be straightforward. Emily, thank you so much for the gift and memberships. I genuinely appreciate that. Yeah. Music City Mom, that's a good question though. That's a very good question. Maybe they did have it public for just a couple days. That could be. Yeah, Duchess, I'm not it either. Like, there's been people, you guys, I could do drama all day long. There's been people on panels talking shit about me and bringing me up, all sorts of stuff. I'm not interested. This is time consuming, and this is something I'm very passionate about. You want to know how passionate I'm about it? Well, take, for instance, Kyle. Kyle, because of what I talk about, and this isn't just what I do on here, we have these conversations. He's my go-to. If I have real big questions, he's who I go to. And you want to know what that man does? He is educating the public, his clients, his parents' friends, his parents. They all know what I do. And he educates every client when he goes into their house because he has me in his ear or watching me on his phone as he's working. And they'll be like, what are you doing? Who are you listening to? And he's like, oh, it's my other half. And he's proud. He's proud of it. So he shares what I'm doing and why. And he talks about Sebastian's parents. He talks about Chris and Katie and the harm that's being done to them. He talks about the re-victimization. He talks about what a mess this At Night organization and how scary this is, and is trying to bring awareness. That's Kyle. That man isn't on here just talking shit to support me. That man believes in what we talk about. Duchess's husband is a part of our conversation. Sometimes he's the entertainment part of it, but he believes in what we're discussing and talks about this. These are things that are impacting people around me that I love. Chapped as you guys know, has a horrendous upcoming situation with the parole board that she has to deal with. These are situations impacting people I genuinely love and care about. And we might need the Islanders' help depending on the outcome of that. The re-victimization of victims is not just happening to missing children. It is happening to so many by our own judicial systems. SA victims are one of the most targeted groups. And it's so dangerous because sexual assault and rape are so underreported as is. Male especially. And it happens to men all the time. Domestic violence. We've got to start talking about these things in the reality of what we are seeing, because sugarcoating this shit and entertainment only, it's not. These are real people's lives. Oh my God, Duchess, he takes me out. I absolutely love the Duke. The Duke had me in stitches the other night. Oh my goodness. Alma, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. You guys look forward to, I will set that. I think we're going to do it Thursday or Friday night. Anybody have a preference of Thursday or Friday? Mid-afternoon, early evening for our cancer awareness fundraiser. We're going to do a fundraiser for cancer awareness. I'm going to give you guys some options to pick between the foundations that are available on YouTube. I did go through and suggest a bunch of charities that I would like to see YouTube add. Unfortunately, some of them aren't even in there of being added. So is there a preference for you guys between Thursday or Friday? You guys tell me. Sean, I have never been like a sweep the dirt under the rug. Never. Well, I shouldn't say I've never been that way. I guess I did that for a lot of my life. A lot coming out of a cult, growing up in a cult type environment, abuse, all of the things. Like, I'm not going to get into all of that, but I swept a lot of shit under the rug for a lot of times in my life. A lot of parts of my life I swept under a rug. And that dirt always seemed to seep out. And you try to sweep it back under, and finally you just have to deal with it. You have to deal with the reality of what it is. It's not pretty. Situations are not pretty. And we're not going to make them pretty. This is the reality of what is being done to so many people. And I'm not just here to talk about it. I'm here because we see the need for change. We see that there is a problem, and I am one sole person. Do you think I'm going to be able to do this on my own? Absolutely not. Thank God I have a village of people that are invested and interested in helping even find areas. I don't want to be a part of like the head of this at all. Like, I don't want to be a face of any of this stuff. The people that need to be the face of all of this are the victims and their families that have been harmed. They need to be what the public has seen, the stories that are heard. We just need an area of opportunity to find places that we can actually work on getting legislation passed, laws to change, things to start becoming illegal to do, or there's laws against for the families to be able to make change. Hey, Lady K. You guys tell me. Oh, Alma, perfect. Let's do the Breast Cancer Foundation. We've had a lot of people in our community that are fighting breast cancer. I'm good with that. We've had people in here lose loved ones to breast cancer. Let's do it. We'll do the Breast Cancer Foundation. Absolutely. Sold right there. We will do the Breast Cancer Foundation. And then Thursday or Friday, and I'm up in the air for right now. I don't have anything in the evening-ish, afternoon-ish. So we could do, I'm not Pacific Coast right now. I'm on Mountain Standard Time. So if you're East Coast, I'm 2 hours behind you. Connie, thank you for being a member for 5 months. Oh, yes, Music City Mom. If you would like to join me on panel, you could have a link. I'm not sure what we're going to do the content based around, but we'll find something. I'll find something. It doesn't really matter what we do the content based around. We could do an open panel type thing, and you guys can come up and talk about it, or whatever we want to do. But we'll do it Thursday or Friday. You guys tell me what works best, and if there's a time frame for sure that like is no good. I was thinking probably like 5 my time, so that would be 7-ish East Coast. Oh, I love that. See all my warriors in here. Lisa, I'm really sorry about your loss. I know a lot of people have lost a lot of. I have a really good friend that had to have a double mastectomy, and it changed. She was young too, very young when she had to have it. But this is your reminder also while we're talking about this. Please go get your boobs and your colons checked. Breast cancer and colon cancer are so prevalent. And colon cancer, a lot of times, is people won't go in for a colonoscopy, especially men. And it is so needed, especially if there's a family history. Oh my gosh, Music City Mom, that had to be extremely hard. Oh, revival. I would love that. Yes, if you, okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Sunshine, if you remember, if you have a recollection of that, can you come back and tell me? I would love to know if you do happen to remember, because I don't know. Yes, super important to get those things checked. Yes. Yes, please go get your colons and your boobs and everything else checked. Oh gosh, Connie, I'm so sorry. Yes. Oh, Elle, I will continue to keep you in my thoughts, because I had a hysterectomy at 26. And although it was a little bit of a rough recovery, best decision I ever made. So I will continue to keep you in my thoughts and hope that it goes extremely well. I have no regrets about having a hysterectomy at 26. The problems, I had so many problems. Kenzie, oh, they switched Kenzie's autoimmune. They switched her off of methotrexate because it wasn't enough to some other new medication. I don't even know what the name of it is. She's been getting sick. She just started it and she doesn't know if she's having a reaction. They told her to kind of wait 24 hours and see, but yes, Lady K, 100%. I'm really sorry, Chris. I'm sorry for everybody in here that has lost somebody to cancer. Fuck cancer. Period. Fuck cancer. Oh gosh, Music City Mom, I'm really sorry. See? Kenzie is a trooper, man. She is a trooper. That kid is she is a fighter. Let me just say that. Like, she is absolutely incredible, but her autoimmune stuff kicks her ass. And they've been trying to find, she was on quite a few methotrexate pills for a while. She's trying to avoid doing like the injections of methotrexate. We did that one time. We did Remicade for a long time. She had to have infusions. Whew, God, the days of what we've been through with that one. But she has her ups and her downs. Mentally, she's doing a lot better though. Yesterday she had kind of a hard day, but she's got her cats that keep her company and her job, and her hair is so beautiful, you guys, in the curl advice, and she's found things that work for her curls. Kenzie's just the most beautiful soul. Truly, I'm so blessed in that department. Cats help her so much. Yes, absolutely. I fuck cancer. Fuck cancer. Maybe that's what we'll just call the fundraiser in the stream. Fuck cancer. Chris, yeah, hysterectomy, yes. Get your colonoscopies too, yes. Yeah, immune suppressants, and be careful if you are on immune suppressants right now too. Again, I'm not a doctor, not giving doctors advice, but with all of the different illnesses going around, the different viruses, please be careful if you're going out in public and you're on immune suppressants, because the shit is really, really problematic. Also, for the Islanders, please go check out the community wall. I did post a message from Smiles, a thank you from Smiles. So please make sure you check out the community post from Smiles. That was a direct thing that she wanted me to share with you guys. So, oh my gosh, Pointer Lover, I'm so sorry. Oh, Sunshine, gosh. See, it impacts so many people. My grandfather had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and it first, like, it was in his lungs. He had all of his lymph nodes in his face, in his lungs, the lower portion of his left lung removed. Then he had an aneurysm in his aorta, and it almost, thank God he survived that, but they weren't sure while he was in cancer treatments that happened. And then it ended up eventually spreading throughout his lungs and into his brain. But he fought for a long time. You know what, AP? Absolutely. It would be an amazing thesis. It would be an amazing thesis. I've thought about, you guys, I toy with the idea of going back to law school all the time, or going back into school for something that we can actually, like, I toy with it all the time. I just don't know if I have the time with how busy it's going to be with two kids going into high school. That's where my time is mostly invested, is my girls. So maybe when I get them through high school and on to their beautiful lives, then I will be able to have the time to do that. But absolutely, Slim. Absolutely. You guys, that was such a beautiful thing that they're able to do because of you guys for those kids. I mean, she would have done it no matter what. She would have figured out a way. That's just Smiles. But the fact that we were able to lessen one burden and provide something that hopefully they'll be able to have a piece of their dad forever, that is amazing. Does anybody have any questions about anything we've talked about, where I stand on any of this, what the purpose is? I don't think many of you are confused, but some people are, and that's okay. People can be confused. People can talk shit. Like, let them do all the things. I'm not here to please none of you. I'm sorry. There's some people that of course, I value your opinions and your thoughts, and I go to for advice. There's a situation that's looming right now that I'm struggling with. That's not even, I don't know what to do with it. And so I will talk to people I'm close with. But when it comes to a lot of it, I'm not interested. We have too much going on with things that are needed to be seen and shutting down the harm. And we're nowhere close to even being able to make progress at this point. We are so far behind in making change in the positive direction and preventing another family from going through this. It's the most helpless feeling, because we know, and I dread every day waiting for that next family, for them to find the opportunity to do this too. We know it's coming, and I hate to say that like that, but there's one thing I'm confident in, it's the fact that this is not going to stop until laws are changed to stop this. Well, Blondie, some days I'm here for you guys. No, I care what people think to a certain point, but I care about the harm and the victims more every day of the week than I care about people's personal opinions of me. Keep those personal opinions of me, because you develop those personal opinions of me off of a person that you perceive in your head that you don't have. And this isn't to anybody in here, unless there's the lurkers in the bushes that are, doing their weird shit. Your perception of me is not because of me. It's because of information you've been given, one side of a story, which I don't fucking care. Don't care to rewrite to anybody. If you hear something about me, believe that shit. Please believe that shit. And save me the energy of trying to, because most of you aren't important enough to even give the opportunity to correct. Oh gosh, yeah, all of these. There's so many people. It does, Connie. And you know what? A lot of people are just mad because, yeah, a lot of people are just mad. It is what it is. Ooh, lurking paint. Oh gosh, Hetty, I'm so sorry. That's a lot. That's a hefty combo right there. Oh, I'm absolutely a fucking Karen Revival, 100%. 100%, especially on this app. I am absolutely condescending, egotistical, all of the things, because when these people make it so easy to look them straight in the face and go, "You're a fucking idiot. You think this is okay? You're a fucking idiot." Like, it's not hard to get that way. Like, I'm always going to be egotistical, condescending, sanctimonious, all the other things. Oh, and by the way, to my fan club, Irish Girl, hey, instead of focusing on me having an adult conversation with War Eagle and trying to make sure War Eagle knew what I was talking about, because it's important to me to have open dialogue with somebody that might not understand what I'm talking about, instead of you coming in and, doing your drama bullshit, maybe focus on not having a camera slip, because that's more embarrassing than you following me around. Anyways, carry on though. And I mean, if you're a hating asshole, remain a hating asshole. I don't give a fuck. My haters are my most dedicated fans. Thank you. Chico, folks can get mad or get glad in the same pants they're mad in. By the way, how are you feeling? You know what, Angel? I have always had the gift of gab, and I got lied to a lot as a child. I got told a lot of things that weren't true, and I knew they weren't true. Growing up in a cult environment, and I got sick of being around people that just lie to lie. Like I have no tolerance for it. It's stupid, especially stupid things. My kids can tell you that you want to see me fucking get mad. Lie to me about something stupid. If there's just no need, we can work through anything. I don't care if it hurts my feelings. Don't lie to me. Don't make up stories about me. Don't do like any of that shit. I don't like it. I don't like it. The bluntness is definitely something my mama would tell you that it's always been something that I've had. I hate fucking fake people. I truly do. And then Revival will insert nonsense goes in chats and throws people at hearts that she don't like. I do. Because sometimes I've decided that as a creator, sometimes saying what I really want to say in chats isn't worth it and just keep it moving. So I throw hearts, and that's the fakest you'll see. That's self-admittedly. I'm fake as fuck when it comes to throwing hearts to some people, because sometimes, not everybody, some people I genuinely like. It's just sometimes I'm not like, yeah, I don't fucking like you, and because sometimes that's the only interaction they've had, and if it makes them feel better or makes them feel seen or acknowledged, it's worth it to me. Even though sometimes I would like to kick them in the shin at the same time. You know, both things can be true. Cash. Cash. Cash is so loved. Truly. Cash has been with me for 2 fucking years. And longer than that. Cash, are you sure you're okay? You've been over here for a long time. Right? 2025. It fits everything. I think sometimes these just touch base. Mods, do you have anything to add? Anybody have anything to add that you want me to read out or anything? Like, feel free. This is like cleansing. It feels good to like get this off my chest because it's been brewing. There's been a lot of shit. There's so much that I don't tell you guys that is going on that I get told about or sent clips of or all this shit. You should see some of my emails. Some of the emails that I get from people that demand things of me, or like, and it's not people, it's not my mods, it's not people who actually care. It's not people that I would actually, there's people in here that when they reach out and say, hey, nonsense, please avoid this or don't do this, I'm like, okay, there's something going on. Absolutely. We'll take that advice. There is other people that I'm just like, you fucking think that are you okay? Are you weirdos okay? Like you wasted all that time to email me that? Nah. And now people know why I don't. Revival says, okay, so nonsense just admits to being a condescending, egotistical, and a Karen. I still want to be here. Chico, I did an email. Angel, I sent you the link. Chico sent me the link for you on the. I'll go look back and make sure I email it to you. Janice in accounting just sent me a sweet text. Oh my gosh, Duchess, that took me out. Just the meme that you posted with that, I was dying. Not about the situation, but just the meme in general. All I could do was freaking laugh. I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, what the hell did I miss over there? I'm the Walmart greeter mod. I have a wrench on some people's channels, but they know, like, I go into Duchess's and Michelle, usually if she's there, she tells me, nonsense, do this. And I'm like, okay, yes, ma'am, I'm on it. Because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I just say hi to people and that's it. But Michelle is a damn good mod for Duchess. And it just, oh my gosh, that took me out though. You're welcome, Chico. I will, if there's Angel, I sent the link to, so to see if she can see. I'll check in with her later. Because she had actually reached out to me in email and asked me. So we'll get it figured out. Steph, I don't think you're a weirdo at all. Actually, you guys, here's the crazy thing. We talk shit? Yeah. Me and my friends do talk some shit, right? But I can't think of anybody that I talk shit about with my friends. I talk shit about publicly to you guys. Thank you, Angel. Yes, Connie, he is doing better. He's working his ass off. Poor guy was so wiped out. And again, like that, what was that? Somebody said something to me in email about Kyle, and it just kind of set me off the wrong way because I'm like, if you only knew how fucking amazing that man truly is, that man, I am so lucky to have that man. I don't know whatever I did in life to get that lucky, but I did something right because between him and my girls and my in-laws, oh my gosh, I'm set. Truly. Like, I am so thankful for him. And to see people diminish, like that man fucking should not have gone back to work. He was still sick as hell, flew to another state, busted his ass, 18-hour days sometimes, 25,000 steps, 18,000 steps after being in the hospital with pneumonia to keep and make sure that nothing would be affected in our lives, to keep it working. Like, that is just revival. I'm going to kick you. Right, Angel? Right? Nope, she said she got it. Chico, he's on there. Oh, Slim, I do have a really bad tendency of not reading emails. I do. I self-admittedly, I've said that for going on 3 years now. I suck at emails, and I am behind. I've tried to get to a few because I knew I had stuff to like pass back and forth between people, or they'll say, hey, can you send this to this person, or somebody will send me something that I need, or yada yada yada. So I'll catch on those, and some of them I read and then I don't respond to. There's another situation. There's another one that I need to get back to. I just remembered it too. But he's doing okay. He's doing, I mean, Kyle's a trooper. He's doing okay. A lot of you guys, though, I'm not the only lucky one. There's a lot of you guys that have amazing spouses. Truly. I am a petty trash bag, Karen. That's what I'm trying to think of anything that people would be shocked about that we talk about. There's nothing really shocking that I can think of off the top of my head that people would be stunned to learn about us, like me and my friends. There's probably nothing that people would be shocked about. We're pretty simple. All of us are pretty simple. Oh my gosh, titanium build. That's amazing. Hey, Casual Art. I hope you're feeling better. Yeah, Chico, I love that. Hey, Pika. Okay, I think that cleared up everything I needed to say. Again, please don't show hate to any of these people. I'm not mad at all. I just figured it was time to explain a little bit, because let them be lost. Let them not understand what we are doing or why the purpose is for what we're doing. Like, that's okay. I'm not here to please everybody else. We are going to continue. And when I say we, me and the people that I surround myself with are going to continue to try to figure out where we can even potentially find avenues to make change, whether it's on the awareness front and resources going to the proper places so less people have to come to social media, whether it's laws that need to be changed, whether it's mass emailing campaigns to protect dignity. We're trying to find avenues. And by documenting and going through this and seeing how people do this, how creators time and time again, you can insert this playbook to any case and you'll have the same outcome. And unfortunately, it's going to happen again. But right now, this filing is very problematic. And if you people cannot see the reason why this is problematic from the parts of it being done to a creator, you don't have to even like the creator. Again, that is your choice. But the fucking giving this at night intelligence agency credibility, when you look at all of the fuckery that they're doing under the name of a missing child, while exploiting the missing child's dad, although he's allowing it, both things are true. And the re-victimization of his parents is horrific. And it scares me for potential victims. It scares me. Sifting, not shifting, sifting. We're sifting through it. I'm slow. Well, some days, yeah. Some days when my feet hit the ground, I feel very discombobulated and slow. Anything else you got? It's not shifting, it's sifting. Did I fucking put my thumbnail stupid? Oh, fuck, I did. Good one. Thank you. Thank you for the correction. No, they actually helped me out there. I put sifting on the thumbnail and shifting in the title. I'm a dumbass. Oh, did she make a community post? Who knows? Who knows what that means? Dutch. Who knows? Nor do I care. Let me fix that really quick. Thank you. You're right. I am dumb. So dumb that I put shifting instead of sifting as the title. There you go. It's fixed now. Thank you. No, you're good. You're good. Some days I am slow. I mean, it is what it is. It's fixed now. One thing you'll never hear me say is I'm perfect. That's one thing. Oh, that's the other thing. Oh my God. The whole fucking excuse of Nantis is on a pedestal. Nah. Nah. No, probably definitely not. I just don't fuck around with stupid bitches. There's a lot of stupid hoes on this app. If I'm being honest, let me be honest for real. Let me tell you what I really think. Some of you aren't worth my time and attention because you are so ignorant. It is so impossible. Somebody has to hand hold you and spoon feed you to walk you to like, oh, this is, oh, like, man, nobody ain't got time for that shit. There ain't gonna be and let me tell you something. If I'm willing to say, like I told you guys earlier, there is never going to be a day that I'm going to ever see value in Brittany J. She has value as a human being for other people that are she's important in their lives. To me, she's a problem. She will always be a problem to victims and their families because she's unwilling. And no matter how many times you try to handhold her to see the harm that she is willingly doing to the victims and their families, including Seth, by encouraging people like At Night Media. There will never be a time when you see that I need to hate bond with somebody because they might be being bullied. If you're a fucking grown-ass adult who is willing to kick a family at their worst moments and then turn around and say, oh, they're bullying me, grow the fuck up. Because I'm sure my dragging, it hasn't even begun. A lot of you could get your asses drug and outed on a lot of fuckery. But I choose to let you do that to yourselves because not my day to give a fuck. Never eat shredded wheat. Isn't it good fiber? I am perfect, damn it. And when I'm not, oh well, damn it. It's nice. Like this felt cleansing for my soul today, if I can admit that. This felt cleansing. There's a lot of things that I've wanted to say that have been happening that I've known about. That's why my post yesterday. If you think that probably applies to you and you think I don't know about all the shit that's talked about me in these fucking back chat rooms and all that shit, I fucking know. I don't give a fuck enough about your opinion of me to give a shit. You're fostering an environment of a middle school playground of a bunch of girls that somebody pulled my hair. Grow the fuck up. I'll continue to use my channel and my platform to walk timelines and show the real harm being done to these victims and their families, and you can keep pulling people's hair on playgrounds. Okay, all right. Well, and they'll tell you they don't condone what At Night does, but they hate this other person, and maybe because of, no, there's no fucking maybe in this. There is no room for saying, well, Granny, no, look at their fucking filing. Look at the filing in the exhibits. There's no room for, well, Granny said, no, read the filing. Read the fucking filing. Again, people get so caught up in these bubbles and these blinder areas that they can't even. Yeah, Revival is super protective. Super fucking protective. Super, super protective. And I hate it because a lot of times people talking shit on me brings her undue and unneeded stress. And she'll tell me, and I'm like, I fucking crack up and start laughing, and she's over there ready to fucking throw something, and I'm like, oh God, I feel bad because it brings a lot of negative feelings for people that I care about around me. It brings a lot of shit to people that are just protective of me as a person because they know me. They spend time with me. We talk about life. They know who I am as a person, and they've been with me from jump. Most of these people have been with me for so long, and I'm so grateful. We have built a community that stands on its own. We overlap in other places. Everybody goes wherever they want to and does their things and participates in drama or true crime or law tube. Like, everybody has their own avenues that they go down and love and stuff like that. But when they come here and the Islanders come together, it's such an amazing group of people. Yeah, casual art, it's wrong, 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 period. There's no excusing this. There's never going to be a day that excusing this over your dislike for Granny is going to be acceptable, because when you look at the fucking filing and the harm that this company, and the scary part is, you guys, these are attorneys. These are legit licensed attorneys who are willing to put their name on this. Can you imagine the overall harm, just like Sean Reyes when he was the Attorney General of Utah, that could be done by situations like that? And later on today, after a while, probably after Duchess's live, Duchess has a missing live coming up, so make sure you tune in for that this evening. But maybe after that, or maybe before it, I don't know. We'll fit it in somewhere. We're going to go back and listen to the video, because Pen was amazing and sent me the whole, when Lesniak was on Mr. and Mrs. E's, that is now on members only. And that is very telling. Darby, yes, you have. Yes, you're an OG Islander too. Yep. Yeah, Pika, that's the crazy thing. Like, I stopped over in Jay's and Granny's. I'm trying to think of anywhere else I've even been. Duchess's, Chico, Am's videos, Revivals, community. Like, that's the only places I've been. I have no interest in anything else going on right now. None. If I'm not like following the characters, I mean, of course, the shit shows I've been watching, as you guys know, or like going back in time and finding things like that. But I'm not interested in most of the shit that most of these people watch. Truly have no interest and never have. I've never had interest in a lot of these things that a lot of these other people have watched. I just haven't. I've never sat where I've been seated by random strangers. I've been sat at tables that I've never sat at before, willingly or unwillingly. Most of you, there's a lot of people on this app that I see as carbon copies of each other. They're no different, and they dislike each other. And I'm like, you're no different. You're fucking no different. You're all the same to me. Like, I didn't like any of you. It hasn't changed. Like, you haven't grown on me. Yeah, we're going to. Yep. Hey, Kimberly. Yes. Kimberly, and it's so scary. Yes. Ooh, Duchess, perfect. I'll work. You tell me. I'm going to work my live around. See, and that's the thing too. Like, today, Jay and those guys were talking about something else, so I knew that this wouldn't impact like anything that they were doing. When it comes to the filing and stuff, Granny, that's important for people to hear the real harm that's being done to her. That is valid. Her feelings are valid. what is happening to her is extremely valid. And to discredit that shows what a shallow fucking idiot these people are. It's shallow that you dislike her because of things from 3 years ago, and you can't see the overall harm that by condoning what's being done to her is encouraging of this company to continue to do to victims and their families. It doesn't make sense. And people that can't fucking weed through it, yeah, I don't have the time of day to fucking handhold you or spoon feed you. Sorry. I just have no interest in it. The taupe watch. I still haven't fucking changed that. Amy, it does mine too. It really does mine too. Blondie, I think I'm still here. No, she doesn't, Connie. And you can see that she was intentionally used so they could continue the harm. And it's two separate things. The filing and Sebastian being missing are two separate things, but they used that filing to continue the harm being done to the parents of a missing child. So it has dual effect. This is so fucking layered and so chaotic. It's not even funny. Not even funny. Is there anything I'm missing, mods? Is there anything that I need else to say, or anything that we've talked about that you guys can think of that I missed today? Did I make it pretty clear? I hope I did. I hope I made it clear. What kills me is a certain backstabbing somebody injected herself in a creator's chat constantly, and then out of nowhere turns on said creator and tries to build her subs like that, yet accuses others of losing the plot. Tori, that fits a lot of people, honestly. I'm sorry. That you're right, but that fits a lot of people. Truly, like the sub coaching, the sub building, the flip flopping, standing with one person, you were good with another person a little while. That fits a lot of people. Truly, it does. Yeah, you're right. It does though. That's why it should be like lace. If that applies, lace that bitch up and wear that shit. Absolutely, Catherine. She should. And again, she has value as a person to people that she matters to. She don't matter to me, and I'm never going to see any value in what she provides on this app. And I'm never going to sell out my morals and values of being like, oh my God, yeah, well, Brittany, if she changed it all up and started doing good for victims and their families, I might give her flowers, but I'm never going to forget all of this shit. The amount of chaos and damage that she has knowingly put herself and let herself be used for is too far. There's never going to be a day that I see value in people like that walk amongst us that hurt people over and over again intentionally because their feelings are hurt. Innocent people get exploited. Yep, absolutely. Oh, can I explain why it's important to show how plaintiffs in the injunction have flip-flopped? Absolutely. Because it shows their willingness, instead of standing on the facts and the truth, and like, okay, so most of these plaintiffs at one point in time were willing to, or were questioning Tony's motives and how Tony was potentially using Seth. That was what they were saying. Or the alignment of all these people using a parent of a missing child. So showing how they flip-flopped because of their own personal desire shows a baseline of the willingness to sell themselves out for self-gain. And that shows where the exploitation will continue, because these people stand for nothing. They stand for absolutely nothing. They are willing to do anything for a leg up, to grow their channels, for personal gain and profiting off of people's pain. They all want to be the next Nancy Grace. Oh God, Julia. Oh, Julia or Julie? Well, Julia, the dog handler who's a plaintiff, you don't get to go, ma'am, from claiming that you're worried about BHB planting something and potentially setting Katie and Chris up for something back to, oh, none of this stuff and all of this was done to me, and accuse people of doing stuff to you that wasn't even done. It was, yeah, no, fuck that shit. Yeah, Julia. Yeah, no, fuck that shit. Yeah, Revival, that's one of those ones that I don't think there's any area of opportunity of growth. I really don't. I don't know what the issue is there, but she knows. She knows. And she just doesn't want to see it. Well, Catherine, I wouldn't say she's pretty street smart. I definitely wouldn't say that. She's calculated and manipulative. She's calculated, manipulative, and vindictive as fuck. And it's all about her. That is scarier than being street smart. Street smart is something that everybody should have. But she is calculated, manipulative, and vindictive. Yeah, Darby, that is the craziest things. No, that has Revival, that has nothing to do with changing their minds. Nothing to do with it. And how, again, I would encourage her to ask herself, how is her being included in this filing helping Seth? How is it helping Sebastian? It's not. Her Fifi's got hurt because she got outed for the fuckery that she was pulling, and she's seeking revenge. It has nothing to do with what she was doing or bringing Sebastian home. Oh, my hair is bad. Revival, it's seen better days for sure. Yeah. And Chronicles of the Shady is another one, that fucking weird obsessive. Yeah, I ain't got no time for any of that shit. That's some fucking weird ass, straight up, like, excusing all of her weird behavior, pocket watching, obsessive stuff, willingness to overlook the harm that's being done because of her hate of other people. That I've got another one that there's fucking no area of opportunity for growth there for me. Fuck that shit. Again, it goes back to, once you've lied numerous times on me to try and do your petty shit, there's no coming back from that. She's another one. She might have value to people around her that care about her, but I don't see her with any value, period. Darby, I've thought about that. The need for another person in Pennsylvania, but I don't think they would have needed her for that. Yeah, Planet. Most of the shit don't even sit on my back to roll off of it. Most of it goes right over my head or in one ear and out the other, because I don't really generally give a fuck. But when it comes to people saying I'm lost because of my content, or people talking shit nonstop and making people I care about uncomfortable, or like random things like that, and missing the point of the actual harm, I'm going to take the opportunity to correct some of this shit and just put it back on their laps of, fucking do something then. Do something. Do something. Be a part of a fucking change, or a part of something that actually moves the dial in the direction of helping victims and their families. I mean, or don't. Or sit around and talk shit about all of us that are going to sitting here trying to do something. Choose that. It's easier. I mean, honestly, I guess if I was, I enjoy drama a little bit, but it takes no effort. It takes no effort to do drama. Why not do something a little bit more? Revival, the sad thing is that post is not about bringing awareness. It's about trying to harm Clue. And their intents are shown. Like, in my opinion, their motives and intent is shown. He has victims, and she's choosing to be a part of re-victimizing his victim by doing that stuff. Yeah, Kim agreed. Well, Planet, a lot of it stems from the fact that I don't call out people that they dislike or have personal issues with, and they think I'm overlooking stuff when in reality, those people aren't even a foundational piece of what is actually going on here. Yeah, can they spread some misinformation? Absolutely. But do they really have an impact on any of this? No, they don't. And while they see it as problematic, instead of firing up their channels and actually correcting the misinformation, they expect me to. They expect me to do everything. And it's like, are you guys that incapable of doing stuff? And have you always needed somebody to do everything for you? Like, I don't get that. I'll never understand that. Chico, right? Yeah, Music City Mom, that is something else I don't understand where that became acceptable to attack the Bowers. Where did that ever become acceptable? Grandparents of a missing child, because of perceived rumors or rumors that are perceived as truth in fact, because of what, how did we get that? Bye, Duchess. Yeah, yeah. I don't mind. I don't mind sharing like content or like videos that I've downloaded and stuff. But again, it comes back to those of us who do our own type of shit and really know, like, I don't, if you put a little investment of time and energy into like walking this, you would do the, I don't know. Kim, they'll disagree with you. They'll say, she avoids this person or that person or this person. I'm like, you guys are fucking weird. I also get accused of not naming names very often. The fuck? Because I'm not saying the names you want me to say. The fuck? There's a lot of weird expectations. If I start living up to the expectations of random strangers that I ain't gonna fuck with on this app or off this app, if I start giving that any like room in my head of, oh, I need to please this person, trust and believe that I'm shutting this off. There will never be a day that some random stranger that I don't even know exists or know anything about them or care what they think is ever going to dictate what I do. Just ain't going to happen. Oh, KCG, yeah. No, Planet Shell, I wouldn't call me a political activist at all. At all. No, I've never been in that arena whatsoever. I talk about a lot of just harm, overall harm, whether it's harm in the political world a little bit, but I definitely wouldn't say I was ever or have ever been a political activist. No, definitely not. What is my overall activism goal? I guess you could call this activism in an aspect of it. We are walking, like for me right now in particular, showing Sebastian's case and the harm that is being done by organizations, creators alike, pulling it back and being able to show people, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you see how creators insert themselves into these cases and become characters in this, you can't unsee it. So what we are looking for is areas of opportunity for things that could be laws to change in order to protect these. What would head off this, and this from happening or being potential of being happening to these families? Right now, that is kind of where we're at, is trying to find a baseline of the many layers of the re-victimization of victims and their families, and finding an opportunity of, okay, this makes sense to ask for this type of law to be put in place because it would protect XYZ from happening to the dignity of a minor, or so on and so forth. Right now, it's more like building the question and answer. Like, we know that the harm is there, but what is the solution and what is the best way we can go about it? Because it's multiple layer. It's not just as straightforward as a lot of people would like to think. It is very in depth. The profiting off of pain, it's became an industry, a multi-million-dollar industry, and you can't just go the level of creators. It's the Nancy Graces, the independent distribution centers that are willing to let these people like the Nancy Graces, Vinnie Paultons spew all this information out to a worldwide audience with no repercussions. There's just so many different avenues. There's also the need for the court systems to change and things to change with parole hearings and how the court system re-victimizes victims. There's so many avenues that this branch is off to. I mean, again, we are seeing like fan bases grow for some of the worst criminals while they're victims. Nobody knows shit about their victims or the harm that was done to their victims. And these people are being glorified, whether it's mockery or not, and their horrific crimes. They're still being infantilized by communities to see these horrific murderers as something. Why isn't that energy given to the victims and their voices? Like, there's such a fucking clusterfuck of areas that need to be changed. It's unreal. It's fucking unreal. And unfortunately, Planet Shell, one thing that does what we are seeing too is the overlap in the political, the extremism with the political, the religious, the cult type following is really drawn into this profiting off of people's pain industry. There is definitely an overlap of the cult type mentality in these sectors that do this. All right, guys, I think I've summed up everything. Do you have any other questions, Planet Shell? Before that was a good question. Thank you for asking me that. I would definitely not call myself a political activist ever, though. I don't know what I am. I'm not an advocate either. I advocate for people in my real life, but I've never claimed to be an advocate on this channel. I advocate for things, I guess you could say that, like I advocate for things, but I am not an advocate in any aspect of that nature. I do advocation in my real life for my loved ones and things around me, but otherwise I'm an asshole with a YouTube channel, a lot of opinions and a lot of questions of trying to find areas of opportunity for change. Oh, yeah. So Planet, that's what we right now, one of the things I'm working on is doing a mass. So I'm going state by state and getting emails for the attorney generals and legislators in each state. And then we're going to start working on a mass like form letter that can be sent to legislators and state representatives. So we can even identify to these people here, there's a problem here. Dignity is completely being thrown out the window for so many victims, and they're being used for political agendas. All these, I mean, look at Laken Riley. Laken Riley's case was used as a political agenda, unfortunately. People don't understand, like, and yeah, it was a horrific situation, but it gets so muddied. Yeah. Each individual area, state by state. I've actually had a couple conversations recently too with people here locally. The conversations continue to have to happen. All right, I think I summed it up. I think I got everything I needed to say off my chest. That felt good. Thank you for letting me download and say what I needed to say today. I really appreciate you guys listening and understanding. And if you choose to unsub, have the best day possible. Totally good with that. If you choose to stick around and help us find areas of opportunity for change and potential laws, we're good there too. Whatever you choose to do, you're grown adults. Choose what you want. Do you want to spend your time invested in drama and things that take mindless meandering? Cool, do that. Do you want to follow me around in every comment section that I go to, like little Irish who used to sit over here and like that? Okay, hold on, one more fucking thing. Y'all, we creators, every creator that has a channel is just a normal human being. When you guys ride so fucking hard for people that you don't know, and this is to my own people too, but they will hold me accountable and say shit to me. So there's that. But when you ride so fucking hard and go from one to another to another to another to seek attention and get some ass pats because somebody else, like, that's fucking weird. It's weird. It's fucking weird. Most of you, I haven't even given a reason to dislike me. I can. I fucking can if you want me to. Have another camera slip, I might choose to show it. That ain't doxing, is it? That happened on your own. On a panel. But I'm not that petty. Stop being a fucking ignorant piece of shit and following me around trying to pick a fight. You're not fucking important to me. You're annoying. It's like a fucking scorpion. Good for something, just not around here. All right. I've said that like 15 times, Pika. I'm just sick of it. Fucking, I was having a conversation with War Eagle and I wasn't even nasty to War Eagle. And fucking here comes little Irish girl saying I was trying to correct her. Yeah, she was misinformed on what I was getting at. I've shown that clip 1,500 fucking times. So, of course, I'm going to explain. But here you come. Here, let me show you. Here you go. Want to see it? Want to see what I said? Oh, don't talk about me lighting scorpions on fire. That might really offend somebody. Also, so I said, you missed the point. Barbecue is the only one a part of that discussion on the injunction, and Granny had nothing to do with that convo. Why did At Night use filings that were never filed in court against Clue and Barbecue as exhibits? Why were those orders never filed for, but used as exhibits? If you go back, I played that clip you did a bunch of times about the misinformation being spread. Go look at the exhibits and tell me how these things make sense, please. I know what Barbecue said about pants. And also, since you said you've got answers, can you help me understand why the live with Lesniak on Mr. E's Crimecast was put on members only? I'm assuming you know why that was done. Thanks in advance for helping me get answers. War Eagle responds and says, I have no idea. I'm not involved in the court filings, etc. But the reason they wrote what you were reading, RE the C&D, about evidence tampering, etc., has to do with both Barbecue and Clue, stating as a fact these pants belong to Sebastian. Duh. We talked about that months ago. There's only two people that I could have told them that, and his name is not Seth. Anyway, that's my interpretation of the related C&D you were reading. It was actually a filing that I was reading, not a C&D. There's both in there, but it was a filing that I was reading. And again, we don't know for sure that two people, it could have been anybody that said something about that and they took it and ran with it. We've talked about that clip for months. So War Eagle goes on and says, also, I have no connection with the E's besides watching their channel from time to time. I'm assuming they put things on members only for the same reasons everyone else does. I said, I totally understand what you're saying. I'll do a quick recap and explain publicly what I mean by the above today, because I think you are missing what I was getting at and why. September 9th through the 18th are very interesting dates, considering these exhibits and what is alleged in the complaint versus what those exhibits show and say. I would have thought since they drew up the filings, the September ones against Clue and Barbecue, they would have been filed, but nope, they aren't filed. They're just included in exhibits. Also, thank you for answering on that stream. I figured you might know more, or maybe they explained why they were doing that with that stream. That stream seemed important to At Night, so I didn't think they'd want it put on members only. Little Irish girl, now she's correcting you in your own clip. The constant condescension and virtue signaling is so Karen. First of all, it's not condescending to have an open discussion with an adult that clipped me that missed the point of what I was getting at. I knew where the statement came from. I knew the clip existed. It's on Jay's channel, dumbass. And this is not virtue signaling. Having a grown adult conversation will never be virtue signaling, you fucking ignorant buffoon. And then I said, exhibits 26 through 28 are the ones I'm addressing, so you know, in case you have access to them and want to read them yourself. And then I said to Little Irish Girl, my fan club leader is here. Thank you for being more dedicated than anyone I know. War Eagle and I are having an adult convo about things, and here you are. I'd spend more time worried about making sure you don't have another camera slip than following me around trying to interrupt adult conversations. Be blessed, Irish. Oh, got me. I'm just here admiring War Eagle's work and laughing at you, per usual. Also, I have a sneaking suspicion War Eagle would rather talk to me than you any day. Also, clips are all I can stomach of your perfectness. So don't flatter yourself, Becky. Seems like you are way more interested in me than I am in you. Fact is, you're boring and predictable. Thanks for playing Karen. Run along. If you guys saw what I saw, you would understand why this bitch is so salty. Let's just say that. It really has to suck to be an ugly, hating asshole. And I don't call many people ugly. Hey, Vids. What's up, dude? There ain't nothing wrong with being ugly, but ugly and bitter and a hating asshole. I mean, that's a fucking trifecta. Good on you. Good on you. I mean, I thought I was actually having a conversation. Like, I didn't care that War Eagle clipped me. She was missing the point of what I was like saying by talking about that. So I was trying to show her, like, this is where I was actually looking at the filings and why I'm confused, because they have in here 2 filings about Clue and barbecue, but they never filed them. And then the next thing, a month later, they're filing against Granny and barbecue. But that was the basis of their original filings, was this pants. Like, it doesn't make sense. And that's what I was getting at. But we were having an adult conversation. War Eagle's responses were kind too. And then little Irish girl just has to be fucking, there she is. Well, Tuesday said, I don't know what she does in her spare time. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. Yeah, it seemed right. Casual art seemed reasonable. Anybody else think I was being mean to War Eagle or even I didn't even think I was being condescending in that time. I mean, I can be condescending. Fuck yeah, I can be. Absolutely, especially when you make me deal with idiots like this. And it's crazy to me because that chick, here's the crazier part of this. Little Irish used to sit over here and like all the time, and no problem that she doesn't like me. But that's what I'm saying is, what do you stand for? Because I didn't change. I didn't change shit up. I don't associate with some of the people you do, but I never did to begin with. Oh, Revival, that's that group of people though. As long as you're loud, obnoxious, and fucking just fuck you, you fucking ugly hoe. You know, oh my God, she uses the hammer and a blowtorch on fucking, as long as you do that type of shit, you're like, oh, yay, go you, pom-poms, hey, cheering. It's weird. It's fucking weird. There's no substance. There's no value. All of us could get on here and scream at the top of our lungs over fucking stupid shit all day long. What's the purpose? You can insult my looks, my fucking feet, my scorpions, anything all day long. Don't give a fuck. All right, I'm out of here. You doing okay? What is the med you're taking now?
Swapping a different med. It's my thyroid med.
Oh, it's the thyroid med.
It's the T4, whatever.
Oh, it's the thyroid med that's making her sick. It's the T4 something that's making her sick.
If anybody has thyroid issues, they'll know by T4.
Yeah, it's she's going back to bed. Yeah. It's Amy, it's truly bad. All right, you guys. I will see you guys later. Go make sure your notifications are on for Duchess's live stream coming up. That's the important shit. Ooh, Wake the Bear. Oh, I like that. I mean, hey, like I said, if that shoe fits, lace that bitch up and wear it. I will. Passion for victims. You're so sweet. You are so sweet. I think truly I don't need to testify for Congress. These victims and their families need to. They need to be the face and the voices that are heard, not me. I just need to be the person that pushes and helps push these victims and their stories to the forefront for people to pay attention and start hearing their voices and what is. I'm glad to have all you co-pilots. Thank you, Kim, for being here. Thank you, Pika, for the kind words. I don't even know, Kim. I'll have to go look at it. I take my thyroid meds before I fall asleep at 2 a.m. Ooh, Darby, I'll tell her that. I will suggest that. All right, you guys, have a great rest of your day. I will see you later on this afternoon. We will be going over the Lesniak interview from the Ease that is now privated. Tuesday, I appreciate that. You guys are amazing. Okay, thank you for the support. As always, you guys. I will see you soon. Bye.